Novo lit that shit bang.
Welcome back, everybody, to Crows of Judgment, and today I want to follow up on a situation that occurred some months back, maybe not even that long ago, but a while back, the French girl, also known as Lou, did a drama alert with Keemstar. In the drama alert, Keemstar was I want to say coaching, but I guess more pushing for certain statements out of Lou to imply that Pyrocynical, who's another YouTuber, was engaged in illegal activity, or at the very least, immoral activity. Now, since the drama alert, there was one other thing said, but since the drama alert, Lou has come out and stated definitively that Pyrocynical and her, they were just good friends. Nothing ever occurred. They never met. No, maybe a photo was exchanged, but a photo of Pyrocynical with his dog. So we can, for the most part, take him out of this story because, according to Lou, she had also said that the reason why she wanted to go on Drama Alert was in regards to this individual on the screen right here. For those of you who don't know, this is Ancient Reality. Ancient Reality, as stated in that Drama Alert, is a man who at the time I believe was 22, 23 years old. And Lou, who was 14 at the time. Ancient Reality, I don't want to use the word grooming incorrectly, but I don't know a better term for it, because Ancient Reality, as a man in his early 20s, was flirting with Lou, pretending to be really good friends with Lou, and according to Lou, it was around this time that she had invited Ancient Reality to come stay with her, and Ancient Reality traveled to go see her, and allegedly engaged in statutory. And this is something that went on for an extended period of time. I have some screenshots to provide more context, because I do think it's important. These are the first time I think Lou's made a lot of stuff public. She had, at one point, posted these images to Twitter and then had taken them down pretty quickly. Just for all the context on everything, a very large YouTuber known as Gamer from Mars was originally going to be covering a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about here. For whatever reason, Gamer from Mars is dealing with his own thing. The video has been delayed, and I've been sitting on a lot of these images for a while because I figured he probably has the best voice, and I don't want to just jump in and botch anything that he's doing. But I don't know when that video is going to come out, and I do kind of want to make this information available to everybody. Couple things, though. I will be giving my opinions on everything at the end of the video. For right now, I only want to cover what is available in these screenshots and the statements made by Lou. Then I will give my opinions because there is an active police investigation into Ancient Reality. Around the time that most of this stuff was coming out and Lou was going to the police, Ancient Reality essentially deleted himself from the internet. His first channel was taken down entirely. There is, to my understanding, a second YouTube channel that is up, but has had no uploads in over 2 years. So he is a ghost right now. He's in hiding. The cops haven't been able to find him. That's the entire story. So I don't want to speculate on what I'm going to show you in terms of the screenshots here. I want to read through what Lou and I talked about, and then I'll give my opinions at the end. So if you're expecting me to go full-on rant mode, you're going to have to wait a little bit. Now, this was a conversation that I had with Lou. Another user known as Freedom was helping me kind of compile certain evidence, and I really do appreciate him for that. He had reached out to Lou. Lou reached out to me, and yeah, we just started talking a little bit. So these are the relevant sections of our conversation. Nope, only found these back. These are my best evidence. Thanks for taking your time into doing this, though. I wanted to know if there was anything more that she had on Ancient Reality. She does not. Now, I'm going to show you the first thing that was sent over to me because I do think it's the most relevant. The police do have an active investigation, yeah? And she goes, yeah, sadly, still no news, but it is ongoing. So, according to Lou, there is an active investigation into Ancient Reality. Now, this over here, these are photos of Ancient Reality at Lou's house. And in one of these images, you can see Ancient Reality is sleeping in her bed. Is that proof that anything illicit happened? No. However, what we can confirm is that a grown man in his early 20s went to go see a 14-year-old girl and wound up sleeping in that same girl's bed. So maybe maybe Lou offered to make him a cupcake, and Ancient Reality got there and he ate the cupcake. And he was so tired after traveling across country lines, and that cupcake just it put him to sleep, and he fell asleep in Lou's bed, and nothing nefarious happened. But Occam's razor would suggest that is probably not the case. He even paid someone to hack me. I'm pretty sure it was him, LOL. Back in December 2020, when everything came out, I looked up someone tried to hack me for 2 months straight. They got to do it because I got my account back instantly, so not worth. I asked her if she had password reset emails. She does have them, but I want to just talk about this really quick. I'm pretty sure that there were many people trying to hack into Lou's account around this time, because it was around this time that Keemstar was talking to everybody about the French girl interview. I'm pretty sure it was like right in December of last year, and everybody was trying to figure out who the French girl was and get statements out of the French girl. It was this whole big thing because Keemstar wasn't dropping the drama alert. I might have my timing a little bit off. It's been a few months. But it is possible that this could have been other individuals, not to slander anyone's names, but, it could have even been Pyrocynical stands for all we know. I can't say that she has actual proof, but somebody was attempting to hack into her account to gain access to it, which maybe it was Ancient Reality. I have no way of confirming that, and I would not state definitively that that's the case. Now, this was a conversation that was originally posted to Twitter by Lou. She did, again, delete it, but I'm going to read it through. Had to message his mom about all this, which I know Mick is going to hate me for. She said she will go upstairs, but I don't know what will happen or what's going on right now. I've legit just left that part out without even thinking, and I've been just crying. Yeah, so Mick is the name of Ancient Reality. Mick is his actual first name. I don't have a last name for Mick. Don't harm yourself. Please calm down. Just pray. I don't pray. And think that he's okay. So I'm going to read what Lou had said, but if you don't understand the context of what's going on, I did ask Lou if she could provide it. A dear friend of mine, a girl who I won't say the name of because I won't involve her with it, but AR had threatened me to off himself. All right, was this regular behavior? Sadly, yeah. Like, would he threaten to hurt himself if you would leave, or would he just say that he would hurt himself at random? Both. He threatened to off himself if I left too. So this, to me, sounds an awful lot like the situation that occurred with Minilad. According to Lou, AR would Mick would basically state that if Lou tried to leave, he would threaten self-harm, but he would also make statements of self-harm, making Lou feel like she has to be there for him at all times. Right? It's classic emotional manipulation. And when you have a grown man with a 14-year-old doing this stuff, it reminds me entirely of the mini lad situation where, he would threaten self-harm if the mod told anybody or if the mod left him. Now, as far as why Mick's parents were involved and why they weren't stopping anything, according to Lou, she had notified his parents that she was 17. And I believe I'm stating that information correctly. So the parents didn't actually know what their son was doing with a 14-year-old. And yes, 17, I think age of consent in Europe across their states is something like 16 years old, which still creepy, but I wouldn't necessarily blame the parents. Like, when I say creepy, I mean at a certain point, we're talking about an almost 10-year age gap, which no. Now, this was another conversation that she had with a different individual, again, talking about basically how the relationship was making her feel, right? It's saying it was depressing. They were together for, a few months, but then it became pretty clear what was happening, right? You have someone who is very young, very impressionable. I would say who is an actual victim of grooming. I'm pretty sure I'm using that term correctly in this case, where an older man is pretending to be her friend, pretending to be there for her. Talk to me. I'm the only one who understands you, yada, yada, yada. And then she feels like she's actually loved by this individual. Again, what occurs is nefarious, gross, and wrong. And after months of it happening, Lou became pretty aware that what was going on was bad. She was becoming depressed, but she couldn't leave or do anything because she was afraid that Mick would hurt himself. At least that's how I would read these conversations. Again, you have to trust Lou is telling the truth, right? Because I don't have actual messages from Mick to Lou in which he is talking about doing these things. I only have text conversations at the time between her and other people. AR was part of a group of friends, including Pyro. Around this time, you and Pyro were friends, but that was about it, and nothing ever happened with him. However, AR jumped in and attempted to lure you into a relationship when you were 14 and he was 23. It's been a while, and I don't want to get any details incorrect, so sorry, you have to go through this again. And she goes, yeah, he didn't really lure me. I thought of us as good friends, and it eventually escalated without official statement. And again, I'm not entirely sure on the age ranges. Just full disclosure, Lou could have been 14 to 15 around the time. AR could have been 23 to 24 around the time. It's my fault. I didn't ask Lou to actually clarify on her exact age when this stuff was happening. When this was going on, she was either 14 or 15 when she first started talking with Ancient Reality. But as far as this goes, when she says, yeah, he didn't really lure me, that to me is why I think it was a grooming situation, because Ancient Reality approached her as if they were just good friends and she could talk to him and basically prepping her, which, yeah. And the first time you met in person was where? My place. And how long did things go on with him? A year. So, again, after a few months, she realized what was going on was wrong. She was becoming depressed, but she was locked into the relationship because of Mick's statements of self-harm. And then, I asked her for her perspective, and, she gave me a little bit more insight. My perspective, just that I hope I get justice because he ruined so much of me, ruined so much for me, including my teenage years, my school education, and much more. No, it was that friend's ex-boyfriend, the second text conversation that I showed you. All right, in what way did he ruin your education? Did he refuse to let you go to classes, or do you mean the mental stress afterwards? She goes, she was mentally ill. She couldn't go on, and classes were dropped out because she was feeling sick. This was during and after the relationship. She did say that she started feeling this way around when she was 14. And again, my fault because I should have asked Lou to clarify if she was feeling this mental stress prior to ancient reality coming to see her. But Lou is someone who's dealt with a pretty disgusting situation. I asked her how she's been feeling now. She said that she's been doing a lot better, which is good. But it is something where she's going to have to deal with what happened for the rest of her life, and obviously that's not something anybody wants to be put through. So as far as this guy goes here, like I said, I give my opinions, right? I can totally understand everyone looking at what I've shown you today and say, I don't know if I would state that ancient reality did do these things. However, there are certain things that we can confirm. The first is that ancient reality and Lou were talking in such a way that many people became suspicious of what was happening. We covered the situation in the past. Keemstar's former podcast co-host was part of this same friend group, and at the time he had reached out to Lou to see if something was happening. Lou, in her own words, had lied to him because she didn't want him getting involved with anything, and we know that much. We know that this guy was around Lou in such a way that other people were at least suspicious something might be happening. We do know that this guy traveled out to see Lou in her own country when she was clearly a minor and he was, again, early 20s. We do know that when Ancient Reality was confronted by his friends, Ancient Reality started deleting all of his social media and essentially wiping his online presence, including taking a channel that I believe had something like 200,000 subscribers. So he killed all online presence, and we also know that as of right now, Mick has gone completely underground, and nobody has a real way of contacting him that used to know him previously. I would say, based on all that, based on the fact that we have a photo of him actually in Lou's bed, we do have some supporting conversations that were going on around the exact same time about how Ancient Reality was threatening self-harm on himself. I think it's, in my opinion, that, the supporting evidence and everything, I would say definitively Ancient Reality did do these things to Lou. I would say, in my opinion, Ancient Reality did prey on a 14 to 15-year-old girl when he was, between the ages of 23 and 24. That Ancient Reality was being emotionally manipulative and threatening self-harm on himself in order to keep Lou trapped in the relationship. And that as of right now, with an active police investigation, Ancient Reality is completely ghosted, is in hiding, and nobody from his previous friends or his previous life on YouTube has any way of contacting him. So I think he fucking did it. I do. And, Lou has made obvious mistakes, okay? And by that I mean the first big one was going to Keemstar if she wanted the story of Ancient Reality out there, because whatever your opinions are on Keemstar, at the time he was solely focused on destroying a different YouTuber that he's had major beef with over the years. She made the mistake of, trusting Ancient Reality, right? Which I understand why. He's a groomer. It was a mistake. I'm not saying that I hold her at fault for the abuse. I'm just talking about general things, right? She made the mistake of going through when this was going down and threatening to hit people with copyright strikes if they used her image. These are all things that, yeah, she does have some hand in, right? specifically threatening to copyright strike other YouTubers, you don't fucking do that because they used a publicly available photo. But I remember even at the time, a lot of other commentary channels were like telling the other guy, just take her photo down. I mean, it's just not worth it. But as far as like the mistake of ever trusting ancient reality, I feel like that's probably the one that weighs the heaviest on her. Although I don't think anyone would really look at her being at such a young age, getting manipulated emotionally by a grown man and hold her at fault for it, right? I'm sure she feels like if she had done this or that differently, things would have happened very differently for her. She may have never fallen into this predator's arms, or maybe it was inevitable. What I do know is that right now we have someone who has been credibly accused. There is supporting evidence behind it. There's an active police investigation, who is on the run somewhere in Europe and has not been caught yet. So that sort of that sort of thing is obviously the worst part about this situation. And as far as Lou goes, I think that she has done everything she can to handle this as appropriately as possible. She went to the police. The police have an investigation on the guy. Ancient reality is still off in the wind. She went to Keemstar because she thought putting her story out there might help, right? And, you know, Keem obviously was more committed to attacking a different YouTuber with the story. I feel bad for her because when you factor everything that's happened, the fact that she did try to go through proper channels prior to taking it to a YouTuber, the fact that, you know, she is somebody who is very open, that she does have mental health problems, a lot of which are related to what occurred here. It makes some of her other actions make a lot more sense, but you know, I think we all know who the bad guy in this situation is. I think that we should all hope that this guy is found, that he is turned into the police so that they can, you know, charge him, arrest him. But yeah, the fact that he's just gone underground, I don't know if that's ever going to happen. He clearly knows how to stay out of the public sight, so... Anyways, guys, that's the video. You let me know if you agree or disagree with anything I've said today in the comment section below. The way this was handled, right? The way her story was handled, I feel like it largely got botched. There was a lot of personal vendettas going off at the time. And I don't feel like she was able to present things the way that she wanted to present them. Ancient Reality, again, was a popular 200,000 sub channel, doing memes and shit years ago. And a lot of people don't even know that, who used to watch his content. They don't know what this guy did. They don't know why he left, that he was hiding from accusations of grooming. Yeah, no, it's shitty. It doesn't make you feel good. But I feel like it's important that she be able to get her story out there to people, that she be able to explain in better detail what had happened, and show that, yes, she does have some evidence to actually back it up. It's not her, you know, coming out randomly 2 years later, 3 years later, 4 years later, with a story she has absolutely nothing to back up. She does have evidence against this guy. And I think we can all at the very least hope that Ancient Reality is found, that Mick is turned over to the proper authorities. And you know what? Again, this is all allegedly. If he's proven innocent, then good. If he's found guilty, then good. But he needs to stop hiding from justice, I guess is the best way I can fucking say this.
Nova, let that shit bang.